We here now, mugga. We here now. Ain't no going back. I always knew I could do it. The stank chose me. These niggas, they can't hold me. I do it just like Kobe. Writer's block over. I got through it like Broly. NYC nigga, I move like
day,
D'Antoni.
family. You
Late
already
nights,
know.
doing push-ups.
Read, remember,
Celebrate life, cause ain't
repeat
no more
in that
selling
order.
cooker.
You know what I
Finally at the
mean? How
age,
y'all
I
feeling
could really
today,
pick
though?
a book up.
Positive energy, man. Y'all see it. That's the only energy we try to give off, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Shit, y'all know what we doing, right? Y'all already know. Shit. Hustle harder, hustle smarter. Curtis Jackson. Flip that. Flippy, floppy. Let's go. You get it. Look. You know what I mean? As long as you don't read the book this way, you know what I mean? You read the book this way, then you got a problem. But you get it. You know what I mean? Where we left off, he was saying that fear was beginning to consume him, which it consumes everybody, but we have to keep the mindset to switch it around. You know what I mean? Jules right there. Jules, come on, keep up, man. But let's go. All I knew for sure was that fear was starting to consume me. I decided that if I stayed in that house and didn't follow my rehab plan, then I had already lost. When fear interrupts your routine or makes you rethink it in any way, it's gotten its hooks deep in you and will hold you back forever. Cowards die many times before their deaths, wrote Shakespeare. The valiant never taste of death but once. I wasn't trying to go out like a coward. The best way to get past the fear that's holding you back is first to acknowledge it and then come up with a plan to get past it. So that's what I did first. I accepted that I was afraid. Then I gathered my most trusted friends in my grandmother's living room and explained that I was going to need them to go jogging with me the next morning. No doubt, everyone said. We'll be back tomorrow. When the next morning rolled around, however, only one of them actually showed up, my guy Halim. I don't think the rest of them was scared of any potential drama. They proved themselves in that realm too many times already. I think they were more afraid of the idea of having to do some cardio in the morning. That wasn't something they were comfortable with. I decided to head out with just Halim. Even though he wasn't the ideal candidate, he was in an even worse shape than I was. More important, I had serious doubts about him, how he might react if a threat did present itself. In a crew full of dudes just looking for any excuse to let one fly, Halim's nature was to look for a way to avoid confrontation. As for Halim, since he was out of shape, I gave him a bike so he could keep pace alongside me. As for my second concern, I opted to take matters into my own hands literally. I found a small pistol, put it in my good hand, and then wrapped it with medical bandages. Everyone knew me as a boxer, so to the casual eye, it just looked like I busted my hand in the ring. I used so many bandages that the gun disappeared into my cast, almost completely with only the barrel peeking out. I told Halim to pedal alongside me and keep an eye out for anyone who looked like they wanted to jump out of the bushes and take a shot at me. All he had to do was sound the alarm and I'd take it from there. Halim and I performed this routine every morning. I was committed to getting my strength and stamina back and wasn't going to let a threat perceive or actual get between me and my goals. Was I actually scared on any of those runs? At first I was, but I took comfort in knowing that each time I set out, I'd done all I could do to make the necessary precautions. I had both a lookout and protection, which was at least more than I had when I'd been shot. It was an extension of what Allah understanding had taught me. Instead of being afraid of getting hit and just giving up, do the things that make you a difficult target. In the ring, that meant staying on my toes, moving constantly, and keeping my hands up. On the street, it meant jogging with a bodyguard and a pistol up my sleeve. No one ended up challenging me, and I was able to get myself back into shape through those runs. But looking back, I can see that I didn't have to be so aggressive in confronting my fears. I didn't have to run through the same streets where I'd just been shot. I could have just as easily gone to a local gym or even put a treadmill in my grandmother's basement. I was just so uncomfortable that anything less than jogging outside in full view of the whole neighborhood would have felt like a complete conscious concession to fear. A concession I wasn't willing to make. Today, I am little less likely to be so aggressive in confronting things head on. In fact, if I'm being completely honest, there are still some fears I've barely confronted at all. The one thing I'm still afraid of, We can spend our entire lives, and many people do, trying to ignore something we're actually carrying around with us every day. But you can't hide from something you never put down. To give you an example, when I look in the mirror and take an authentic assessment of where I'm at in life, the thing I'm most afraid of is family. It's a fear I haven't wanted to admit because I know for the vast majority of people, family brings incredible comfort, security, a sense of well-being, and connection. I've never had that feeling. Family makes me uncomfortable as hell. It doesn't make me feel safe. It makes me feel extremely vulnerable. That's probably not a surprise given my background. The number one fear every child experiences, no matter where they live or what their circumstances, is losing a parent. It's built into our DNA. You don't have to download that app into your phone, it comes pre-installed. Psychologists say the fear of losing a parent is especially acute between the ages of 4 and 8. Every kid in that age range is going to start worrying when their parent is late coming back from the store or goes away for a couple of days. Of course, the parent always comes back, and in time, the kid stops obsessing over the possibility that they won't. Well, my mother never came back. So when every child's worst fear actually came true for me, it made it very, very hard to open myself up to the type of love I had for my mother with anyone else. As you've probably gathered, things didn't get much easier. I went to my grandparents' house. Their love was unquestionable, but the environment was chaotic even in the best of times. There was never enough money, attention, or stability, but there was plenty of drug and alcohol abuse, a lot of dysfunction. My grandparents' house was not the ideal place to mourn my mother, but they were the only family I had. I've never met my father. I don't even know who the guy is. A lot of people who have grown up fatherless have a desire to reconnect when they're older, but I've never felt that way. In fact, I'm glad he hasn't come forward. The things he could have helped me with, the lessons he could have taught me, the moments have all passed. I don't think there's anything positive he could add to my life now. Like many people do, at first, I continued the cycle of dysfunction. That began with my mother's death. When my son Marquise was born, right around the time my rap career was blowing up, I thought I'd turn a corner.